I'm always fluffy. I like
No,
great fluffy. It gives me a little
My
storage.
recovery day is my fluffy day. That's what I call it. It's my fluffy day.
fluffy day.
I
Well,
think
everyone,
so while the top athletes in the world are discussing how we're fluffy, how we're fueled to be fluffy.
yeah. So I guess we're on. I guess that means we're on. So, hi everybody, welcome. Um, so today we're talking to some of the top athletes in the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
In the
So,
world.
In the world. So we're here to talk about health and nutrition and training and what better way to have those conversations than one of the top athletes in the world. So maybe we talk about that.
I'm surprised Matthew Mullins is not on this.
Well, he didn't make the cut.
I hope he's watching.
He didn't make the cut, I guess. That's,
He didn't make the
he wasn't
cut.
on the flyer.
He didn't make the cut.
Yeah. It's funny. I guess it's relative. Like when I'm like, we all train hard and work hard for life and whatever and have fun with it. But I always say like for surfing, like, I'm out there having fun. I do it a lot. I train for it, but like I'm not out there training for the tour, unless there was like a heat for like mid 40s working dads. Like I think I do pretty well in that category. So if that's the definition of the top athletes in the world, I think we'll be doing all right.
Yes.
Above average age groupers. Top
Yeah, we got to be very specific in what we're talking about.
Yes.
Mid 40s dads, I got that in the bag. At least top 50. Anyways, so we have Steve Lepicki and Brooklyn McDonald here, and so I'm just going to introduce and ask questions. I feel like I learn a lot from these guys, and I'm like an athlete in training always, and so like I just love asking questions and being here to like be a smart ass and have fun, and that's really what I'm good for. So Steve, first of all, he works in the healthcare industry and has for a lot of years, and is a good friend. Also, a great athlete, OCR athlete, and recently qualified into the world of Ironman, which is very cool. Brooklyn is also just outstanding athlete / my personal hero. Totally honest. But a personal trainer, nutritionist, mom of 4, has a job, just kind of like one of these like female David Goggins. And so
That's hilarious.
It's true. So that's who you guys are. And I just, we want to talk about like your training and your regimen and how you get ready for what you do. And from like, from the beginning of training to like what you do during your race and post-race recovery and even maybe even some of the mental aspect. But if we just want to like jump in, Steve, like when you're getting ready for a race or you're training and you're months out, like what does your regimen look like? What does your nutrition look like? Maybe just at a very like high level.
Yeah, so I guess I started training for the recent half Ironman that I did a year in advance, which was long, very, very long. Really what my training regimen looks like every day, 6 days a week, it's some endurance activity that relates to the race that I'm doing, whether that's a swim, whether it's a bike, whether it's a run, whether it's a hike. There's so much that you can encompass into endurance training and strength training, 3 or 4 days a week. And then my nutrition, we're plant-based. We try to mindfully eat, but we don't count calories. We don't go crazy on that end. We fuel for performance. So I eat when I'm hungry. I try not to overeat. And Juice Plus, the fruits and veggie capsules, the omegas have been key to my recovery for, the entire process. And it's really helped me fill the gaps in my nutrition and really helped in recovery where I fall short, I think, in areas where I should be sleeping more, because sleep is a huge area of recovery. So, I mean, really, it's more of a lifestyle that I try to lead as far as including nutrition and athletic training, just as part of like a daily routine to get ready for these races. But my daily lifestyle is nothing like what Nikki's is for, the way that she trains. So.
How do you train?
My daily lifestyle is very different. I do several events, so it's really hard for me to train for just one specific event. And it's funny because people ask me, "What are you training for? Like, why are you working so hard?" And I'm like, I train for life. Like, that's what I'm training for. I'm training to live. Like, my life goal is 107. That's what I'm training for. So I love being prepared for whatever's thrown at me. I mean, if you tell me next week, hey, there's a really cool OCR race, I'm like, I'm down. I know I can do it. If you tell me there's a 50 miler, I'm like, okay, I know I can do it. If you tell me there's a triathlon, okay, I know I can do it. So I train mostly, I train mostly muscle endurance. I lift low weight, high reps. I do crazy intense workouts that involve low weight. Because I don't have the time. I have 4 kids, and Brookston, my youngest, is 2. So she's I don't post it. You don't see it often, but whatever I post on Facebook, she's usually right beside me doing exactly what I'm doing. So it's hard for me to go out and run 50 miles to train like that.
Right.
It's hard for me to go out and just run or just go out and swim. So
Well,
I focus on muscle endurance. So
Yeah,
I focus on the muscles that are used for swimming, the muscles that are used for running. I focus on training those hard, like endurancely, not to build muscle, just to build
Right.
endurance.
So
I do
like,
run, I do swim, I do bike, but I don't go crazy with it.
yeah,
If that makes any sense.
well, it does. And like, I feel like too, you touched on it, but moved on. And I think it's like an important thing to talk about is the fact that, I mean, I train 2-3 hours a day as well, and I have kids and a job. And I think when I talk to people, the biggest question I get is, well, how do you get it all in? How do you fit it all in? Like, when do you do it? I have kids, I have a job. I'm like, we all do. And so how does that impact your day? And like, how do you work your day around that and make it happen?
So I'm really fortunate because I'm a personal trainer. So I have a gym in my home. I work in a gym. So part of my classes that I teach are part of my training. Like, I'm teaching the classes that I would do for myself. Like, people that go through my classes are doing the things that I would do myself, which is amazing. So when someone completes it, I'm like, you're a badass, like I do. So I'm lucky. I mean, not everybody can say like, I have a gym in my home. I can work out 24/7. But I get up early. The very first thing I do is like myself, before my kids wake up, I train for at least an hour and a half, just as alone time. I'll either do cardio or I'll do my lift in the morning.
Yeah.
And then like in the afternoon, when things are settled or I have a break, then that's when I do my endurance training, my lifting. And when I say like endurance training, I mean like high reps, not just like 15 or 20, like I'll do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. So it's like, your body's like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah.
Which kind of simulates like what you're putting your body through, like when you're doing an Ironman.
Totally.
So because I can't just leave my home and go run or go bike, that's what I teach my body to do.
But you've also helped people that do have busy lives and careers with like workout regimens that they can do kind of between their crazy, like at the office, here's where you can do it at home or when you get home. Or
one of my favorite things is at home or work workouts. So like even for myself, so I focus on drinking a gallon of water a day, which I don't always get that done. But like in my mind, I'll wake up and I'll say, what am I going to do in the bathroom while I'm peeing? So I don't ever just go to the restroom. If I go to the restroom, I am doing 20 squats. And then I'll say, okay, the next time I go, I have to do 30. The next time I go, I have to do 40. So it's like little things like that.
Yeah.
And I teach people that, like several of my clients are like, what workout am I doing today? Because my main focus is water, pushing water in your body.
Do you get a gallon in, Steve? What kind of water consumption are you doing when you're training?
I try to do a gallon a day. Again, I often fail, and I don't do 30 squats before I go pee, but now I feel like
I would do 1,000 squats a day if I did that.
Yeah,
sometimes
the hydration.
I feel like sometimes I get to 1,000. I really do.
The hydration aspect of the training, and especially for the racing, I think is the most important. It's something for my first race that I did. I did an Olympic, and I failed miserably. I forgot to drink on the bike, and then I got to the run, and my back locked up, and I was being passed by, old ladies in their 90s that are like, "Come on, it's not so bad. You can run." And I was just hating life at that point. So yeah, drinking water is by far the most important. And I also found that, not saying that, oh, I drank an iced tea, or, oh, I drank, a diet soda. So that's liquid, so that counts, because I found that definitely doesn't count.
Yeah, whiskey counts.
Whiskey counts, absolutely.
That's the only thing.
It's like a salad because it's usually made with water and corn, so it's almost
Right.
Like a salad. You guys are ridiculous.
Basically like a smoothie.
It is. It's like yeah, and I think that probably most people, especially when I train in the morning, because I get up early and I train early, and I'll try to drink before I go exercise. So I'll try to drink water, I'll try to do some meditation, and then I'll go try to work out. But just the difference between working out at 5 a.m. or 7 a.m. on the weekends, that little bit of hydration you get in makes a world of difference. So I imagine people are walking around dehydrated and training.
Yeah, I know. I've been drinking a gallon a day the last couple of weeks, and it's been amazing. And I just have to get up. I wake up early, like 4:30 or 5, because like Brooklyn, I have kids, and I'm usually trying to get a couple hours in of training before they're awake. So, but I just get up, and if I just chug, by like 9 o'clock this morning, I already drank a half gallon, because I did CrossFit and then, worked and then went to the gym. And by 9, I was already like almost done. So it's like if you get it in early, then it's super helpful.
Mhm.
But Brooklyn, you didn't talk as much about your diet and stuff too. So maybe touch on that a little bit.
I struggle with getting up and drinking water right away. I'm routine. So the first thing I do is I drink 2 cups of coffee, and I'll take my coffee with me and I will work out with my coffee. Just like it's mental. I have to drink my coffee and then I can start my water. I'm not going to lie. Like I am obsessed with coffee. I drink 2 cups a day, just small, nothing crazy, but I got to do that. So that's why I struggle getting my gallon. I usually drink at least 70% of my body weight. That gallon kills me, kills me. So I used to strictly follow a plant-based diet. And I have done so well. My body has done so well on a plant-based diet. Recently, within the last 2 months, I started adding just salmon to my diet. And it was mainly just because I don't eat a lot of food. And I noticed, like during my training, during some of my races, like I felt like I wasn't getting enough, and it's my own fault. I mean, I have plenty of resources. I don't eat big meals. So I started eating salmon. So I eat salmon once a week. And it's funny, during race week, I'll eat salmon every night. I try to like get my body full of omega-3s and fatty acids, because the first thing your body burns is carbs. And I eat a ton of carbs, but I find carbs in like vegetables and rice and things like healthy carbs. But the second thing it goes to is glucose. And I know there's glucose in the foods that I eat, but I don't eat sugar at all. I don't put sugar in my coffee. It's rare that I eat sugar. I don't crave sugar. So the next step is your body starts to burn fatty acids. When you're doing like an endurance workout for longer than 90 minutes, your body needs fatty acids. So what I do is I eat that once a week, and it's mainly just so my body gets used to it. So that way during race week, my body's like, what are you putting in me? Because I don't eat meat that often.
What is this goodness?
Yeah. So during race week, I focus on omega-3s. I eat lots of carbs, because your body needs carbs to survive, which a lot of people don't realize that. People think carbs are the enemy and they're your best friend. The right carbs are your best friend. So the whole like 7 days out, I focus on carb loading, like the healthy way. And I eat salmon every night. Like even when I was on vacation in San Francisco for the last race I did, I didn't care what it took. I was like, I need salmon, I need almonds. Those are my 2 go-tos, almonds and salmon. Yeah. So I load up on the whole week prior to a race. And even actually during the race, I carry almonds with me. But I follow a plant-based diet for the most part. And I feel like it's a lifestyle. So it's not like, what do you eat during the race? It's like, my body already has everything it needs.
Yeah.
So I'm ready. So I don't have to focus on like, crap, what am I going to eat during the race that's going to help me? Like my body has it. My body has it already there. It's already there. It's already ready. I don't have to do anything different. I load up on phytonutrients, which is plant substances that are like amazing for your body. Juice Plus, like that's our common ground here. We all take it. We're all athletes. I really feel like the only reason that I have such a great success in recovery is because I flood my body with those. Like I'm telling you, before I started taking them, I would get so sore. I would do a race, and there were some marathons where, I mean, I remember specifically, I would finish a marathon, not be able to walk to the car. Not even be able to, I was like, you got to come get me. Like, I cannot go get my bike. I cannot walk. And since I started taking the capsules, the plant-based powders, I have not had that happen to me. It's been a year and a half since I felt like that. I mean, like, I bounced back super quick. So it's like the key to my diet is just being consistent, eating healthy, eating whole foods, and then recovery. Like, same thing. Like, I don't have to adjust. I don't have to go up. I don't have to go down. It's funny because I actually just listened to a podcast on, I forget which Ironman athlete it was, but they talked about how they fill one whole water bottle with goo. Do you guys know what goos are?
Yeah. A whole water bottle?
Yes. And he said, it was like a top Ironman athlete. And he should be on the show.
I was like, he should be listening to us right now.
He didn't make the cut.
He didn't make the cut. He must not be the top.
But he talked about how he consumed one full water bottle of goos on the bike. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, it mind blew me that he knew that he needed that much energy to perform, like a fake stuff.
Right.
Like it's mind boggling to me.
It's just like a spike more than like a.
Yeah. It's like you get that and then you're just like,
yeah.
So I used to take goos. I used to do that, but I never had a great race. I never felt great. This was when I wasn't following a plant-based diet. I wasn't consistent. I wasn't on the capsules. And they would tear me up for days after. Like, days after, I would feel awful. Like, trying to get those out of my body was hard. Like, it was just hard on my body. And I think, Steve, you might do this too. The last Ironman race I did was Ohio. And the only thing I had, so I focus on what I eat the night before. I have a large carb-based meal, but it's not like pasta. It's not bread. I do rice, broccoli, and salmon, like, religiously the night before every race. And that meal carries me over and to the next morning, where I feel like, okay, my body feels really good. I'm not hungry. I actually had a shake. I had a Juice Plus whole food based shake before on the way. I drank it on the way, which I live about 40 minutes away from the Ironman, Ohio. So I mixed it, and I had a banana in it, a little bit of mango, ice, and the vanilla, and drank it on the way. I didn't have anything. I didn't put anything else into my body until the bike was almost over.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I didn't feel full. And then when it was time, I had, what are those things called? What are those wafers called?
Honey stingers?
Yes. Honey stingers, because it was at one of the tents when I stopped. It was at one of the tents. Grabbed a honey stinger, half of a banana, and I was fine the whole race. And it was actually one of my best halves I've ever done. It's the first time I've only just drank a shake before a race. That's all I had. I didn't eat anything after the swim. It wasn't until like midway through the bike where I was like, okay, I'm getting hungry, which is amazing to me. Had my best race, felt great. It was the best race I had by doing that. And I actually, the last race I did, which was Alcatraz, did the same exact thing. And it was like, wow, like, this is great. But I mean, it's made with whole food. Everything that I would want to make and eat pre-race that I don't have time to do is right there. Like, you just chug it down, and it's like, wow. It actually worked better for me than oatmeal.
Is that what you do, Steve? What do you do during?
She and I actually had the same exact pre-race meal, basically. I mean, Jesse made my shake before, because the morning of a race, I'm not mentally functional. I'm more like, did I forget to put my shoes? Is my bike at the race venue? Am I gonna race naked by accident? I'm coming up with every scenario that's gonna go wrong. So she made my smoothie, and we got up at 3:30 that morning. I had that at 3:45, and that's the last solid food that I had until I finished. I did use the goos on the race, just because I was so concerned about bonking and hitting a wall again, like I did in my Olympic. I think I went too far with that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much the same way that I fuel. And to go back to the omegas that Nikki was talking about, I don't have salmon or fish on my diet. So we use the Juice Plus omegas. And during my training, there was a period of time where I was a miserable human being to live with because I was so exhausted from the training. I was probably overtraining at some point. And Jessie said the same thing to me. She's like, you're burning omegas and
You're a horrible person to live with. That's what she said.
Basically. But I'm burning omegas and I'm probably in such a deficit that I started doubling and tripling up on the omegas. And it improved my mood, it improved my workout, it improved my sleep. I sleep horribly. And if you're in tough training blocks, one of the first thing that goes for me is my sleep. So it actually put me to bed. It got to the point where I was just taking omegas and rubbing them on my bike because I wanted to make sure that, you know, my bike was feeling good.
Just
so
taking a bath in omegas, fill up your bathtub.
Bathing in the omegas. But yeah, they made a huge difference. And the same thing. We had the gummies and I didn't take them on the Ironman because I just didn't have enough pockets for all the plastic. But there were training runs that I would take and I would just take the Juice Plus gummies. And it's all the same nutrients that you want, plus that little bit of sugar that's in half of the crap that people use.
Yes.
And it would get me through a half, you know, marathon run, or it could get me through a bike. And then I love, you know, I have this thing for dates. So I'll sit there and, you know, eat dates and, you know, and have a little picnic in the middle of transition.
I love those gummies are the first thing I go to right after I'm finished. Right after I'm finished, you know how they have fruit snacks at the right across the finish line, they have Mott's fruit snacks just to get that sugar back in your body. I don't do that. I do the Juice Plus gummies. I take way too many. Like literally I grab a handful. They're delicious.
Oh, I do too.
They're delicious. I have to keep my kids from them. Like they would eat them by the handful.
I eat them too. I had some last night because I don't eat sugar either. And sometimes I just want something sweet. And I'm like, oh, dude.
Well, they're full, like, okay, so phytonutrients they're full of anti-inflammatories. So like as an athlete, that's what you need to remove your body of the stress that you're putting it under. So it's like the very first thing I do when I go home after like a major event. Well, I bring the gummies with me, like, because we have the big packages, bring the gummies with me and literally eat them by the handful after a race. And then I'm like, I need to get these in me. The capsules, like, get them in me. And the next day, like, I'm back to training. Like, I don't really take a rest day. Everyone's like, why are you doing this? You just did the Ironman. I'm like, because I feel good. Like, I don't need to take that day. Like, my body's not sore. It's not sore. And I truly believe it's because I'm doing the right stuff. Like, those capsules are my magic. And I wish I could. I tell everybody that I train, I'm like, I'm telling you, the key to not being sore, because people let me put them through hell. And I'm like, the key to not being sore are these little magic beans right here. And then they start taking them and they're like, okay, you're right. You're right. These are working.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. And like, even just like when I'm feeling sick or whatever, that's usually my go-to. Is I do other stuff too, like colloidal silver, like I'll do some of that. And then I'll just take a bunch of my kids' gummies and I just pound them and usually get some sleep on the next day.
It cracked me up when Steve said that he was going to rub them on his bike. That's hilarious. I actually put the omegas on my face. I use them for sunburn. Like, if you know how when you're outside all day during an event, you get sunburn like crazy. And if you're like me, you're in too big of a hurry, so you forget to put on the sunscreen. You just start. I'm so focused on just going, and so I'm burnt. I'm always burnt after the events. But I put the omegas on my face, and it works wonders. It works wonders. You got to try it.
Yeah, and
I am gonna try to put them on my bike though, because after the last race I did, my bike definitely needs omegas.
Chris just said, I think especially in the environment that we're in now, where immunity is such a hot topic, those phytonutrients keep us healthy. And when you're training for events like this, you're not whacking your immune system, but you get to the point, that balance point, where are we training too much to hurt our immune system? Or are we training enough that we're improving our immune system? And I think that it's one of the big things. There are those Juice Plus capsules that have kept me, you know, healthy and, you know, avoiding, you know, the sinus infections and the colds and the crap that you get when you start feeling in your training. And I know people who train who are always complaining about feeling sick because they're just either overtraining or they're not taking care of their body.
Yeah.
Right.
What's your next race, Steve?
I haven't scheduled one yet.
No.
I'm not sure. I'm thinking about either going back to Ohio or maybe doing Chattanooga 70.3.
Chattanooga is supposed to be a great one. It's a I think it's a downhill stream that you swim in, which makes it a lot better. But it's a farther bike, I believe.
and it's a slightly longer swim, but they changed the swim slightly because they used to end it where you had to swim upstream 200 meters, and people were not able to swim upstream. So I think they extended the swim a little bit too. But I heard it's a great course. I mean,
Yeah.
we haven't really set the next one yet.
How about Escape from Alcatraz, Billigan? What was that like?
Oh my gosh, you guys. I felt like a brand new athlete. Like I felt new to the game. It was the hardest, most funnest race. This is how I explain it. It's the hardest, most funnest race I'll never do again. it kicked my butt, you guys. So I don't know if anyone probably not everyone knows what Alcatraz is, but it's the Escape from Alcatraz. So I flew to San Francisco. You get on a ferry and you go out into the San Francisco Bay, right in front of Alcatraz, like literally right in front of it. And you jump off and you swim to shore. And they give you an hour. They give you 1 hour to swim 1.5 miles.
So what was going through your head? Like you're in the water, did you think like, if I see a shark, I'm going to do what?
I actually didn't, because no, I didn't. So everyone was teasing me, and people kept posting like shark pictures, and they would send me shark pictures, but I never one time researched it. Never did I ever. I signed up for it. People kept sending it to me and I would just play along. Never did I ever research it. I was just like, you're going to do it. The only thing that right before we jumped off, the race director said, don't be alarmed if you see seals and sea lions. They're friendly. They just want to know what you're up to. Don't get scared. Yeah. So I was like, that would be amazing. If I got to swim with a seal, or like a seal just was like, hey, what's up, Brooklyn? I was like begging for that to happen, and it didn't happen. And I was kind of bummed. There was at one point I saw a guy's foot in front of me, because during triathlons, like you're kicking people are kicking you. It's just like one cluster of, you just got to roll with it. And at one time I saw a guy's foot in front of my face, and I thought it was a seal, and I got so excited. And I was like, nope, it's just a guy's foot, because he had those gloves on, those like flipper things. Yeah. I was so bummed. It didn't dawn on me at all that I would get eaten by a shark.
That's good news.
Because I didn't research it, which I did now. And now there's no way I would do it again, because I made the mistake of researching it after the fact. And I'm like, what the heck?
I've surfed in the sharkiest waters, and like I get out and I read about all the attacks, but like I'm different. Like when I was surfing this weekend, there was like seals all around me. I'm like, get the hell out of here. Like,
yeah, so I learned today that those are shark
predators.
bait.
Yeah.
I learned that that's shark bait today. I learned that. So here I'm begging for it. Begging to be shark bait.
Did you ever think that a shark can swim faster than you, and you can run faster than a shark? So it all comes down to the bite.
Yes.
Yeah, but plus, if you have all those omegas in your body, that makes it even more delicious for these sharks. Because I smell that.
Right? This is funny. You guys are gonna be like, no, I actually purposely did not put omegas on my face the night before, because I was afraid of what I would attract. I did. I was so scared of that. I was like, I don't know what's gonna try to eat me if I have that extra on my face.
Basically living like seal blood all over your face.
Yes. But I did it.
You made it in less than an hour. Awesome.
Well, I was expecting extreme temperatures, because the race was originally supposed to be in June, but because of COVID, it got moved to a later month. So normally they said the water's 55 degrees and it was 61. So when I jumped in, it did not take my breath. I was like waiting for that to happen. Yeah. It's just because all the people in the boat were like, it's so cold, it's so cold. It was okay. It was just okay. Like I got in and I was like, okay, but you can do this. Yeah. But I constantly feed those thoughts into my head. Like while I'm racing, I constantly like, this is me. I'm so corny, but like I'm swimming. I'm like, you got this. Like I tell myself this stuff. I'm like, you got this. You're a badass. You got it. You're almost there. Like I have these pep talks with myself. And I got out and I was like, oh my God, you did that. I did it with less than a minute left to spare.
Oh, wow.
Did not make me feel like the top athlete of the world. It made me feel very new to the game. But we were swimming across the current, which was, I live in Ohio. There's nowhere to swim. There's ponds, a couple lakes that are like hours from me. So I had no training for this kind of swim. So to me, I was just like, I'm a winner. I did it. I'm a winner. I've never trained for this. I did it. But it was the bike that messed me up. It was the bike. So the San Francisco hills are no joke. No joke. We were going up like steep hills. And
Yeah, no, that's
it's crazy
brutal.
because I would have, honestly, I would have rather have went up 5 more hills than go down. It was the going down that scared me. So people were like, we were going down, people were flying, going like 30 mph. And here's me on the brakes, like going, like I was so scared to go down that fast. I had never
Yeah,
done it before because the Ironmans, like I did Ironman Panama City, no hills. The ones
right.
I do are they're Indiana, Ohio, they're not hilly. So
And
I'd never trained on hills like that.
you struggle with turns. So I can
I
only
struggle with turns, yes. And here's the keys to that was going downhill. If you've ever been in San Francisco, it's as soon as you get to the bottom, it's like a crossroad.
Yeah,
So it's like hard left or hard right. It's no
right,
gradual turn. It's like
right.
you're flying, you get to the bottom, it's a hard left or hard right. So I was just I had the brakes on the whole time. I was probably going 10 mph the whole way down the hill. My average pace was 11, you guys. I was so scared. I was scared. And then I got off the bike. That was my jam. I actually ran some of my best mile times. Like there was one of my miles that was under 6 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I had a 7:15 mile. I was
Wow.
flying on the run. The
That's
run was
amazing.
my jam. And it's probably a good thing because I probably would have finished in the bottom 50 people if it wasn't for the run. I think I finished in the bottom 300 people, you guys. I felt very humbled after that race. Like San Francisco folk, no joke, like badasses.
Yeah, man, that's awesome though. The fact that you
But I
did it.
did it, and it's funny. I actually had a moment. I rarely ever do this, but I went to the porta potty after I was finished, and I just had like an excited breakdown. I like cried for like a second, and it was because like that feeling came over me. I was like, wow, you just did
Yeah.
that. And then
Yeah.
I was like, okay, get your shit together. Let's do this. Like, all right, you did it. Let's go.
That's so great.
It's probably
man.
like to the date, like the most accomplished I've ever felt. Like
Cool.
to the date, it's one of the best races I've ever put myself through. Hardest, probably my worst results, but the best I've ever felt.
Yeah, at the
accomplishing that
bucket
race.
list for sure. That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. I love it.
Yeah.
And Steve, you had your first Ironman. So what was your feeling when you were done?
I think it was the same thing that, and Nikki was there to watch me finish because she finished, showered, ate food, came back.
Oh, you're still running? Cool.
Still running. I was still out there. I came back, I finished, but it was the same thing. And it was something that like, I try to, when I'm running and I'm in the middle of a hard run, I try to imagine what that's going to be like to try to help me get through like the extra mile. Cause unlike Brooklyn with her super positive self-talk, I have to fight to get out of my own head. To where like halfway through the bike, I'm like, this sucks. It hurts. Why am I doing this? And you just go like really dark. And luckily during the half Ironman I did in Ohio, the community is amazing. So like they kind of can tell you're struggling. So they'll come by and say like, good job, or they'll pat you on the butt, or, like they kind of remind you that other people are there. So you keep going. But it was something that after I crossed the finish line and I got to the first water station, the volunteer came to, you want to dump this on your head? And I don't think I said words, but she did. And it was like this most euphoric feeling in the world. But then I saw Jesse as you finish on this track in this football stadium, everybody's ringing the cowbells and they're celebrating. And I had that too. I had like that split second of like, just like release of like all the crap that went on over the last year. Just like, you did this. And it's that feeling at the finish line that I wish everybody could have, because it's something,
Yes.
endurance events. And I think it's why I do these things, to remind yourself that like life may be hard day to day and you may feel beaten down because of work or family or whatever is hard. But when you do things like that, it realizes how far beyond your potential you think you can go. And everything else seems like just a minor inconvenience, because if I can do this thing for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours that the average person can't do, but the average person can do if they just put the work in.
It's mental.
You're then able to say, well, why am I letting, this person's crappy attitude or, this news article get to me? Because that's not, in my, circle of things that I can affect right now. And
right.
I came back and, Jesse was like, what happened? Like for a week, it was like, I'm Steve, nobody can F with me. I'm, Nikki warned me, like the feeling goes away, and it did, but it's something that, after I can go back to and say, you know, I did this hard thing. So this hard thing isn't as hard as that.
Yeah.
Yes. So I had that the very first time I experienced that. I did my first 50 miler, and it was after mile 26. I had my first crash, like mentally, because I'm pretty good at staying positive. Like I know my body's limits. It was like during mile 26 and mile 27. This is the first time I did it. I was like, I remember we were walking uphill, super steep hill, and in my brain, I was like, you can't do this. There's no way you can do this. You can't. Your body cannot do this.
Mhm.
And then I caught a downhill shortly after, and that's my jam. And it was like, try to stay positive. And it was like trying to fight, like what Steve says. I was like, I was telling myself, your body can't do this. Your body can't do this. But I kept going. I did not stop, did not stop. And I feel like people get that feeling of, I can't do this, and they quit. They just quit. That's what the majority of people do. They feel that pain. Their mind goes, I can't do this. So they don't. But if you keep going, you see, like you come out of that. And I would have never known that if it weren't for that race. So like mile 27, mile 28, I started to like gradually come out of it. I slowly came out of it. I felt great the whole rest of that 26 miles. But I remember that feeling of intense, you can't do this. But I did, and I kept going. And I wish that I wish everybody would do hard things. Just everybody needs to try. Like the hardest thing that you can imagine, you need to try it, because your mind says no, but your body says yes. And once you pass that and you do it and you finish it, that hard thing, that's what that's what you compare yourself to. So when you come to another hard thing, you're like, well, I did that. If I keep going and I keep going and I keep going, your mind expands in the best way. And it's like that for life. So you do that hard thing, and then it just becomes a part of your life, your everyday. You just become better. I just wish everybody would just do a hard thing.
And I think that's the whole reason we're all here, and like we're all like have that, because we're all connected in that way. Like you know, it doesn't, you know, what we've talked about, if we were to like look about this conversation or summarize this conversation over the last 30 minutes, is like a lot of it is just establishing these healthy patterns, you know, of like it was funny, like Steve talked about negativity, talked about positive. I'm very much in the middle where I'm doing something hard. I remove both. So for me, it's like more neutral thinking, where like I don't wake up in the morning if I'm feeling good or if I'm feeling bad or if I'm sore, if I'm not sore. Like it's like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do X, and I'm here to do it. And I don't really have a choice. And I remove the choice from my brain is how I shut it off. And so for me, it's just like keeping it neutral of saying, okay, I'm going to finish because I said I was going to. And so if I can shut off the negative and even the positive, because you don't always feel positive when you're doing these things, because you'll have these things creep in. So for me personally, I shut it all out. I don't go to a dark place. I don't go to a happy place. I'm like, I'm just going to, you know, freaking do it. And so like for me, that's my mental, whether it's work or kids or hard things in life, like you don't really have a choice. You know what I mean? Like that's what I was so valuable to me to learn years ago, was this, we call it the illusion of choice. If you want to be healthy and happy, you really don't have a choice on how you get there. There's only, you know, it's like, if I want to be healthy, there's a bag of Doritos and an apple. You don't have a choice. You have to do it. And so by removing the choice from your brain, it allows you to push beyond what, you know, the excuses and things. And so when we talk about like the healthy habits, the diets and the, you know, the Juice Plus and the training, really what's the end result? It's doing hard things. And I think what I respect most about the two top athletes in the world that I get to talk to is not, you know, the way you look or where you finish in a race or whatever. It's the fact that you're doing it. And to me, that means that you're a successful person and you're well-rounded and you're going to be positive and happy by just doing it. You know what I mean? And so I think that's all these things we talk about with nutrition and Juice Plus, I think, in my opinion, all arrives at the same place.
Yes. You know, it's constantly doing hard things day to day.
Every day.
That's how you become better. Consistently doing hard things every day.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I feel like that kind of sums it up. I know we had we wanted to keep it at 30 minutes or whatever, but any other like last thoughts? I mean, I think if we leave it at that, I think it's pretty awesome of just establishing these healthy routines that we talked about today, in order to do hard things. And we talk about athletics, because that's like to me, like being an athlete is like, you get a win, you do a race and you won and you got it, even if you just finishing is a win. Whereas in life, there's no real big wins. It's just a constant race. Like, I'm a dad, and every day is a battle to be a good dad. I'm having to learn and train and do these things. And so athletics is a good way to relate to it. But I think that's, what we're all getting at, right?
I actually stopped calling these events races. I call them an eventful day of fitness. Like every race we do, like triathlon related, I'm like, this is what I say to myself before I start. This is going to be an amazing day of fitness.
I love that.
Like I don't even think of it like that anymore. It's just
Yeah.
an amazing day of fitness.
I heard you say that, and like even just hearing that changed the perspective for me on these things, because like we joke about being top athletes, and I'm good at the mid 40 dad surf competition, but like really it's just doing it, and it's just doing it and it's fun, and like we don't need to be the best in the world, but like we're better people because we're doing these things.
That's right.
So,
Awesome.
Well, Steve, any final words?
No, I think you guys all hit on the head. And I think probably, for us, we talk about massive distances and, like, how do you train for this? But I think everybody should just figure out what their hard thing is. If that's a 5K, if that's a mile, if that's a walk around the block, just do it. Start somewhere. And you should use that phrase, just do it. I feel like that's a good catchphrase. It'd be good.
I've never heard that before. That's a good one.
I've never heard that either. That is fantastic, Steve. I might get that on a shirt.
Maybe sneaker
printing on shirts.
I think that'd be good. But yeah, no, I think that's fantastic, guys. So thank you both. And I'm sure if anybody has any questions, you could leave them in the chat along with your favorite fruit or veggie and where you're from. We can definitely chime in and answer them.
Yes.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Good night, guys.